check again if this is the audio is correct. So the audio is the part that will always give me the most tension, because that is the part that is more likely to go bad than not. Okay, I'll check it now. So this is going well. So this is going well, I think. I don't see any issues. So I hope this will go well. I hope this will go well. Okay, so let's get on with it. So this is where we were. So now we will handle the fire. Okay, so we are making a game and we are going to kill some space boulders, some stone or stuff. Space boulders, basically big space boulders, and we'll just kill them and slash them. And we need to fire for that, and if we need to fire for that, and so we're going to handle that. Okay, so first what we will do is and remember how we handled input here. So basically what happens in games, you basically press a key or something, a button on your gaming console, you know, those things, what are they called? I'm feeling sleepy. And so basically whether you are in your laptop or you are having those gaming things, I don't know what they're called. I have them, but I don't know what they're called. So when you need to press a button, or so basically an input is being handled. So basically when you press a key, it fires. Okay, from Super Mario to Call of Duty to anything that you have played. So the fire works just as any other input. Okay, so we were doing for handling the up and down, left and right, we are checking if args.inputs.left, right? So that's all, and let's put the code for firing. Okay, if args dot I think states dot input inputs, args dot inputs dot, let's say how this is handled. So this is written like this: keyboard. Okay, because we will be implementing it using keyboard. Okay, keyboard dot key down dot Z. So basically we press the Z key. Okay, so we'll just leave it here. So instead of implementing all those in one go, we will just we'll just put down Z is pressed. Okay, so let's see so how that goes. I think it will appear on the console, Z. So I think it will be up in the console. Okay, so let's open this. Z is pressed 3. You see that okay, let's just open the key displayer. So let's say Z. Okay, I'm just pressing Z because this is not handled yet. We are not seeing anything coming out of the ship because we'll need to make that, but we see that it is implemented. Okay, Z is pressed 8 times. Okay, so it gets input. So now we'll have to implement more. So it is important to support a variety of input configurations to make the game as accessible as possible. So the arrow keys make it possible to arrow keys make it possible to navigate. So also the same is also done using WASD. Okay, so we can do that, and we can also add an additional switch, additional letter that will also fire. Okay, so that is handled here. Okay, so Dragon Ruby GTK, so you can just implement this controller 1 key down. So if the A of the game controller, so that's the word I was missing, game controller or gamepad. Okay, so whatever, you can just handle it like this. This is magical, right? So so much of the heavy lifting is being done by Dragon Ruby game toolkit here, the game engine here. It's just fantastic. You just add one line and you just add a controller and it will just work. Isn't that fantastic? I think that's fantastic. Okay, so I'll have a controller maybe, and I'll show this. Okay, so let's just put this. So let's implement this J or G, that thing. Okay, so we already have Z. Now we'll add the code for handling J. Okay, key down Z is already there, or let's say it's an error, of course, because we have not finished writing. Args dot the same thing, args dot inputs dot keyboard dot key down dot J. Okay, J G. Okay, so instead what we're saying is it's not Z is pressed, so it's basically we're pressing Z. J also should register as, so we'll write something like missile fired. Okay, so because we'll be shooting missiles. It's not a dragon, it's a spaceship, so we'll shoot missiles. Okay, so let's get back to it. So that's handled. So this is so we have learned about this operator here. So or equals, so this is just or. Okay, so in programming, so it's like you have something, a concept like let's say do I need to take an umbrella outside? So you take an umbrella whenever it's raining, one of course, and you also take it whenever it is the sun is very high, right? The sun is scorching, the temperature is really high. So if there is rain or there is scorching sun, take out umbrella. That makes sense, right? From the perspective of your real life logical decision making, that makes sense, right? So whenever, so it is both, so it's scorching sun and it's raining, you will take the umbrella then too, right? Because whenever one of those is present, you will just take out the umbrella. So it's the same concept here. So whenever Z is pressed, we'll spit out a fireball, a missile, and whenever J is pressed, we'll spit out a missile too. Okay, that's the concept here. And let's just, okay, so you can also add this in single line. So this is not like a requirement for writing the syntax. This is more used to write the code write the code beautifully, and it's so the it just doesn't go way towards the right. So that is what is being done here, using just writing down the code in the next line, so we're not writing it. Okay. So now we will go ahead and display fireballs. Okay, so how do we display fireballs? So in our case, missile, we'll display missiles. Okay, we've got most of the code, or some, you know, the array of plasma railgun, whatever. Okay, change puts instead of display the fireball. At top of the tick, assign an empty array to argstate fireball since nothing has been assigned yet. Okay, let's do that. So instead, our case, this will be missile. Okay, or railgun, laser burst, whatever. Okay, so this will also go to a state variable. Missiles. Okay, so this will add or equals. This will be an empty list. Okay, so then where we check for the action input, push a fireball into the, so whenever this is clicked, okay, so the fire key will be clicked like Z or J, or the controller, sorry, or the controller A button, then you will just a missile will appear. Okay, and how to do that, we'll just add it to this. Okay, so it will appear the place where the player character is, the the spaceship. Okay, this is the spaceship. So we'll start it where the spaceship is. This is what is being done. So args.state.playerx will have this. This is the x coordinate of the missile. args.state.player_y and a fireball. Okay, let's see how it changes things. Okay, so I'm just curious what it would be. Nothing. Okay, nothing. So it should not render anything really, because it's just an array and an element is being added to that array. Okay, so, and we will also add we will also add that to args outputs labels. Okay, okay, sorry, this is not where it goes. Okay, sorry, this is totally not that was not expected at all. Maybe I shouldn't stream when I'm feeling sleepy. That's like streaming 101, right? Okay, so this is where it goes. args.state.missiles, and in goes these. Okay, does it render anything? I'm curious again. I think not. Okay, some weird things are going on. So let's see. Okay, we should not end it here. So it just goes there. Okay. Okay, so this is missiles. missiles. I'm going to make the mistake again a lot of times. Okay, so let's just see this if this happens. Okay, error, missile fired. Okay, so there's an error. So let's see. So render our fireballs now by pushing them into aux output level collection. So smart enough to know that push an array into an aux output collection will flatten and display them correctly. Thanks. Okay, so this is something that is being handled by the game engine there. So we need to render those, and we just push the fireball, the missiles in the aux.output levels collection, and so the game engine knows that if we push an array into aux outputs, so it will flatten it and display them correctly. Okay, we don't need to handle anything more. Okay, so we've been using arrays to represent the fields for different data in our game, like labels and sprites, but arrays have other uses too. Arrays are a great way to keep track of information that we need to list. Yeah, absolutely. The array we have created in the code above tracks our fireballs. Okay, this is the basic concept of an array in the programming language Ruby, and it is a really common data structure anywhere in programming. So it's really simple. So languages like Ruby and Python, they abstract away a lot of details of the implementation of array, and it makes it really convenient for programmers to work with arrays really easily. So it's a little bit more involved in languages like C and C++, or definitely C, but it is those complexities are abstracted away from the gaze of the programmer, so you can just declare an array and access it. So basically this is how it works. So if you want to have an array, so if you, let's see, do this. If you want to have an array, so you basically declare it name, like, okay, let's name it foo. You can name it anything. You can just assign it, and this is an empty array, and you can say that like the height of students in the class, heights, and let's say in just meters, let's say 1.12, 1.03, 1.04, and so on and so on. Okay, so so this is an array. This is a one-dimensional data structure. Everything goes in one direction, and if you want to access something, you can access it like this. Okay, height 0, that becomes 1.12. okay, that just becomes, that's just equals, okay, not assignment. Okay, this just equals 1.12. okay, this is it. This is, so these are called index. So in dictionaries, like, I'm not talking about programming dictionaries, I'm talking about dictionaries that you use in the real world. So you will use all the A words under the chapter A, all the B words under chapter B inside the book, right, and so on. So through A you access letters beginning with E. In arrays you access the content of the array by using numbers starting from 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on. Okay, so if one is, let's say there are cities, Paris, okay, Calcutta, London, it's SF, San Francisco, like this. So this, if we name these cities, then city 0, that would be Paris. Cities 1, that would be Calcutta. So the thing to remember is arrows are 0 indexed. Okay, so they basically start with 0, and then you go to 1, 2, 3, and so forth, so on and so forth. So basically an array of length 5, the last element would be accessed using the array name and subscripted to 4. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind. That's that sometimes, many times, easy to remember, and sometimes you have to explicitly keep it in mind so that you don't make mistakes when you're writing a code that involves some array. Okay, so So I think we are supposed to see these arrays. Okay, so there's some mistake happening. We have some bug in our code. Arc state missiles. And everything regarding this is here. Is that the way it is handled in the book? Let me check. So that is outside the if, right? Labels, args output labels. Yeah, exit missiles. Let's see the game again. Error again. So where is the error? 41, line 41. Let's see. Line 41. So args.state.missiles. Args.state.missiles. This is supposed to. This is still in the if block. This is still in that block. So we're not using the puts anymore. Okay, let's see. So we deleted that because we're not using the puts anymore. args.state.player x, args.player y, missile, and this is pretty straightforward. Then you're adding to labels, args.outputs.labels, those things, args.state.missiles. args.state.missiles is right there. This is here, and this is way up in the top. So no mistake that I see. It's still going wrong. This shouldn't be this way because we're just reading from a book, and this should be effortless. That's why I'm making this video, because this is my first video tutorial. I've been programming for a long time, but first tutorial ever. So that's why I'm taking help of a book, so that I don't have to handle these things. But it's part of programming, really. You make a lot of mistakes, you just correct them. That's how it goes. So this is what we're supposed to see. Missile, just the word rendered like that. Okay, so what are we doing wrong? So if we have these key downs, then you just handle it for one key, just Z, okay? Just Z, nothing else. Z, okay. Error again. Line 39. So what's line 39? So this is the root of the error here. So arg missiles, we just we're just inputting three things. Okay, let's just restart it. So that might solve the problem, it might not solve the problem. Let's just restart it. Yeah, it's working. So this is one of the things with Dragon Ruby, that even after you fix a bug, so it just keeps appearing. Okay, so what's happening here is like this. I am doing it like this. So whenever the plane is the spaceship is here, if I press Z, so it just appears just there, just like that. Yeah, okay, cool. Lots of missiles out there, just for like, with our dragon in the book we have fireballs. So whenever you are having an error, you're seeing an error and you can't explain it, try turning it on and off again. You know the joke, the IT crowd joke. Have you tried turning it off and on again? So that's the joke. So in computer programming, in IT, in hardware, when you see a lot of error, it might just go away if you just turn it on and off again, turn it off and on again. Yeah, that's, I'm not joking. It's only half a meme. It's true. It's actual. It's close to reality. If you just turn it off and on again, any problem just might disappear. Okay, but many things do. Okay, so this is where we are. So now we'll try and implement. So there's a little more time here, so I'll just try to keep it sub 40 minutes. So what we have right now is that missiles aren't really moving, right? It just stands there. It's just not going anywhere. It's not much of a missile if it doesn't go anywhere, right? And it's only text. It's only text. It's not an actual missile. That's boring as hell. So that needs to have its own trajectory. Okay. So let's so we're just sticking with the text missile right now. We will change it to something. Before changing it to actual missile, we'll actually just make it move like a missile. A missile isn't a missile much if it doesn't move. If it's just there and just sits there, that's not much of a missile. Okay, so what we do to make the missile move, so this line of code, args.state.fireballs for us missiles, each for each of them. So do what? We do change to fireball, and we change 0, the 0th element. Okay, and we plus equals speed plus 2. Okay, so let's just implement this. So before that, let me just explain to you what it does. So when you do each, sorry, then you put a do keyword. So what it does is loops through the array of args.state.fireballs. For each fireball, updates the arrow value at 0 index, which is the exposition of the fireball, to be the dragon speed plus 2. Okay, because we want so whatever the speed that we have selected, so it might be 10 or 12 or 5, whatever. So if we just do this, if we just have the speed like that, then we just want it to be a little bit faster. Okay, so if this is moving at the speed of 10, then the missile needs to move at the speed of 12. Okay, the speed plus 2. And again, another thing is coming handy. We have defined speed at a certain value, and if the value is just there, and if we need to change the value, if we need to modify it, need to experiment with it, we don't need to come to yet again another place and change it manually. We can just change it at one place here. Okay, we can just change it here and it will automatically get changed here. Okay, and we are not having to remembering and writing this thing. So this is also handy, having variable names instead of just hard coding values everywhere you need them. And there is and it is really good if you just have this. Okay, and then so you can just loop through each item and modify their properties. Okay, so it's just that. Okay, so you can just loop through items. So it's basically this. So it's basically what you're doing. So let me just give you an example, a different example than that involves in the game. So if you have something like this, okay, numbers 1 2 3 4, okay, and if you do, let me just check it before. I'm not super expert in Ruby. I've barely written any Ruby outside outside this game. So before we do that, let's just be super careful and just run this. If I think what is correct, what is the correct behavior, and so on. Let's see this. Let's see this. Let's say nums 1 2 3, okay, and nums dot each do num puts num times 2. Okay, let's just run this if this works well. Syntax error. Okay, and end. So in Ruby we have to end everything. A function, that's a method, so, or even an if statement, so you have to end everything. Yeah, it's working. Okay, so basically this is how we do. So this is how you declare an array, and if you want to do something like to each of them, like I want to multiply 2 to each of the numbers. So you see 1 times 2 is 2, 2 times 2 is 4, and 3 times 2 is 6, and these are the numbers that we have here, right? So this is how we do nums dot each. So we just write the name of the collection, nums, then we do dot, then we do each, and then what do? We just write a do, and then this is the important part. So this is what we want to call each of those elements. Okay, this can be anything. This can be foo. Okay, so there is no relation to of this to this when we are talking about what spelling to write them. So you can just hit foo, then we have to change it here, foo do. Okay, foo. Okay, let's just run this again. We will have the same result, 2 4 6. So no surprises there. So basically within these pipe characters, so what you straight bar character, what you have to do inside those sandwich between them, you have to write what you choose to call each element. Okay, so here we have nums. We will conveniently write it as num. Okay, convenient. This is for your own convenience and your co-workers or your friends or your fellow open source maintainers, all of these. Okay, just run this. Yeah, see this. So instead, if you wanted to do wanted to subtract -10 from each, you can also do that. Okay, and it does everything. Okay, let's see, it's -9, -8, -7. So this is how you do it. Okay, so when you have something like this, you just do for running through a loop nums dot each do what we're doing some things, but who do we do to? And each of the elements, what do we call? Let's call them number, because this is for your own convenience, it's nothing else. Number plus 10 end. Okay, this is puts. Okay, just prints. For this code, you will have 11, 12, 13, 14. This is the output. Okay, this is the output that you will have. Okay, makes sense? Yeah, it should make sense. Okay, so I hope this is okay. So what is doing is fireball. So what is changing is fireball 0, because each of the fireball is a collection. Okay, a collection of what? The player's x direction, the x position, the y position, and the letter, which this part will later change to an image of a missile, the same way that we just made a spaceship appear using an image. We'll make a missile appear here on image. Okay, so did I change the code? I don't think so. Okay, so I didn't change the code, so let's change the code. So this is still inside the if statement, or is it outside? I think it's outside. So this is what you do. We choose to call each of the element of this array arc-state missiles. We choose to name the missile. You could have done it with foo or bar or bars or whatever, or spam, whatever. Okay, then what do? We change the x position, because we don't want the missile to change its direction like this. Okay, so whenever we shoot a missile, we want it to go this direction. Okay, not change its direction to this or this way. Okay, so only one coordinate. We want it to change its position, only its x position or its y position. That's why we are doing missile sub 0 and not missile sub missile sub 1. If we wanted to change the y position, we should have done missile sub 1 here. Okay, because it's a missile and not a firebomb, will add 4 speed. Okay, that should do well. Okay, and this is how you do programming. Like when you are learning, you just get a pretty simple code. You just copy it from here and you just change these small things. Okay, this is really simple. Let's see if this moves. Okay, yeah, missile is going super fast, a real faster than our taste maybe. Yeah, we have running missile. Okay, congrats to yourself if you have built this. Okay, I hope you like this shooting missiles. I think the missiles are going really faster. Maybe we'll just compare the speed when we have something else. We have we have actual sprites for missiles. Okay, let's leave it at there. Okay, leave it here, leave the speed unchanged. Okay, so this is I think this is a good place to stop for us, and we'll handle other things in the next video, like switching to hashes and actually putting some missile pictures there. So when we shoot some missiles here, they just shoot actual missiles, actual images of missiles, and not this text missile. This text as missile, this is not really good. This is not important, but this is really exciting. You see how these missiles are being shot. Yeah, right? Okay, cool. So let me just stop this recording right here, and I will meet you in the next video. And this is going to come soon.